Have you ever spoken to a woman and felt like you were standing before a fortress, high walls, hidden gates, and a smile that feels less like warmth and more like a guard standing watch? You talk. She smiles. She gestures. But underneath, there's something impenetrable. A secret world you're not being invited into. But here's the truth no one dares to say out loud: that fortress is not unbreakable. Every fortress has a weakness. Not a crack in the stone, but a lever buried deep in the foundation. Find it, and the walls collapse. Ignore it, and you'll be left pacing outside the gates like a beggar, forgotten, irrelevant. Today, we don't play games with cheap pickup tricks or shiny words. No. We draw our weapons from the sharpened steel of Niccolo Machiavelli himself, the master of power, influence, and manipulation. He was not concerned with charm. He was concerned with control. And when you apply his ruthless wisdom to women, you stop being another man hoping to be liked. You become the one who commands attention without asking for it. This isn't dating advice. This is war strategy. Love and fear, the two forces. Machiavelli wrote that men are driven by two forces, love and fear. He was speaking of kings and nations, but you'd be a fool to think it doesn't apply here. A woman's heart is its own kingdom, shaped by wounds, guarded by illusions, ruled by shifting tides of emotion. Every time you open your mouth, you are stepping into her territory. Most men stumble in like merchants, offering trinkets, compliments, facts, jokes, thinking they'll be welcomed. They're not. They get smiled at, tolerated, then dismissed. But a strategist? He doesn't knock on the gates. He studies the walls, the watchtowers, the blind spots. He learns where fear hides, where hope burns, where insecurity lives. He knows that beneath the armor, the most unshakable queen has a weakness. And when he finds it, he doesn't plead for entry. He pushes. Hard. The hidden weakness. Every woman has one. Do not be fooled by her makeup, her laughter, or her endless social masks. Beneath it all, she craves one thing more desperately than anything else: to be understood. Not complimented. Not impressed. Understood. This craving runs deeper than vanity, deeper than desire, deeper even than love. Because love itself is built on this hunger, to be recognized in a way the world never bothers to. Here's where men fail. They strut like peacocks. They pour out facts, jokes, stories, hoping their noise will break her walls. But noise doesn't break stone. Precision does. A blade cuts, not a hammer. The true predator doesn't waste energy. He listens. He watches. He catches what she hides in silence, the hesitation before she answers, the words she avoids, the flicker in her eyes when truth threatens to slip out. He seizes those fragments like weapons. When you become that man, the one who sees what others don't, you stop being another admirer. You become the shadow that unsettles her defenses. You become unforgettable. The strategy, aura over words. Machiavelli warned that people are guided more by appearances than truth. And this is your weapon. Do not dump your soul out in desperation. Don't hand her every detail of your life like a child begging to be accepted. That stinks of weakness. Instead, you build an aura. An energy that bleeds into the room before you open your mouth. Calm. Unshaken. Confident. The aura of a man who does not need approval because he already owns it. Your words should not scatter like dust. They should land like stones. Heavy. Unforgettable. Speak slowly, as if time itself bends around your presence. Let her curiosity work against her. Let silence hang until she feels the need to break it. And when you do ask what pierces. Don't waste your breath on shallow questions. Go for the jugular. If no one judged you, what would you be doing right now? That's not a question, it's a blade. It cuts past the mask. It forces her into territory she doesn't show others. And when she answers, even clumsily, you've already slipped past her defenses. She won't know why she feels drawn to you. She'll only know that she does. The warning, power as poison. But understand this, power is a double-edged weapon. Use it recklessly, and it will bleed you dry. Machiavelli himself warned that influence, abused, always collapses on the one who wields it. If you use this gift just to manipulate, to rack up shallow victories, the mask will crack. She will see it. Others will sense it. You'll be left with suspicion, emptiness, shadows that scatter at the first light of truth. The true strategist does not flaunt power. He embodies it. Quiet. Steady. Unmovable. He doesn't roar. He doesn't beg. His silence weighs more than another man's shouting. His calm unsettles more than another's anger. He doesn't seek validation because he already knows, he is the validation. The stoic predator. So remember this, when you speak to a woman, do not fidget. Do not beg. Do not perform like a circus act. Slow yourself down until she feels your calmness pressing against her own nerves. Hold eye contact until she looks away. Leave silence hanging until it bends in your favor. A stoic man does not chase. He draws. He is not swayed by rejection, judgment, or games. His worth is untouchable, and she senses it in her bones. And when you combine this stoic presence with Machiavelli's ruthless understanding of human desire, you don't just talk to women. You dismantle them. You don't walk away forgotten. You walk away burned into her memory. Because true power isn't in asking for attention. True power is in commanding it without a word. Tactical moves how the quiet predator operates. Words are soldiers. But a victor doesn't send them in blind. He sends them with a plan. First, precision listening. Most men hear. Few listen. Listening is not silence with waiting teeth. It is active excavation. Ask little, watch more. When she answers, don't clap like a seal file what you learn. Memory makes you rare. Remember the small things, the joke she mentioned once, the song that made her pause, the story she told in half a laugh. Bring them back later as if you carried them like trophies. That return is not nostalgia, it's proof. Proof that you saw what others missed. Proof she isn't lost in your crowd. Second, calibrated vulnerability. Never dump your wounds like a plea. Vulnerability is an instrument, not a cry for pity. Show a scar with the coolness of a general revealing a map. One anecdote. One moment that hints at depth. Enough to suggest you are weathered, not broken. This is a dangerous kindness, given sparingly, it pulls her closer because it hints at truth. Given all at once, it drives her away, because it smells of need. Third, controlled scarcity. Availability is a currency. Men who flood themselves into timelines devalue their worth. Be present, but not predictable. Make your time count. Vanish a little. When you return, your silence should have made room for curiosity. Scarcity creates hunger. Hunger sharpens attention. Attention is the battlefield where desire forms. Fourth, the mirror and the twist. Match posture, tone, cadence, then do something unexpected. Mirror to build comfort, then break the pattern to create magnetism. When she leans in, do not follow immediately. Hold a fraction of distance and then offer something rare, a sharp, clean observation she didn't expect. That deviation is electric. It signals control. It signals taste. Fifth, calm, not cold. There is a line between intensity and cruelty. Walk it like a tightrope. Intensity, focused, deliberate, pulls. Cruelty repels. Your aim is not to bruise the other person but to rearrange the energy in the room so that she feels the gravity of you. Gravity attracts. Force destroys. Language as weaponry, phrases that carve. Forget rehearsed lines. Use language that compresses meaning and releases it slowly. I noticed you said, followed by a detail no one else mentioned. Short. Precise. It lands like a verdict and leaves her to reconcile why you saw it. What's the quiet thing you won't say? This is a scalpel. It demands honesty without shouting for it. It forces truth out of secrecy because it is offered as a refuge, not an interrogation. When you look away, what are you thinking? A measured pull that makes silence confess. It's intimate, but wrapped in calm, not imploring. Use it when the room tightens and curiosity needs to become confession. Never explain. Never over-elaborate. Knife-edged sentences win the moment, paragraphs lose it. Presence training how to become the still center. Presence is cultivated like muscle. Train it. Breath. Control your breath to control the room. Slow inhales, deliberate exhales. Let your breath set a tempo she unconsciously matches. When your breath steadies, so does the space between you. Posture. Stand like a rooted tree, not a reed. Feet shoulder width, shoulders back, chest open but not flamboyant. Your body tells a story before your mouth opens. Make that story red, unshakable. Voice. Lower your pitch by a fraction. Speak with deliberate pacing. Let silence fold into your cadence. The spaces between words are where the weight is felt. Do not rush. Give your sentences time to land. Eyes. Hold gaze long enough to make her aware of herself but never stare until it feels like an assault. A measured, curious look is magnetic, an aggressive stare is desperate. Practice these until they are second nature. Presence is the foundation. Without it, tactics are hollow. The long game builds foundations, not scores. Make no mistake, the short-term thrill is not the point. This is not a point system. A true strategist plays the long game. Plant seeds that grow into trust. Keep promises small and precise, deliver them without fanfare. Make her feel seen in ways that matter. Remember names of people she cares about. Recall small plans she mentioned. Small consistencies build an architecture of reliability. Reliability becomes respect. Respect becomes influence. Influence, then, becomes mutual. That is the apex. When she confides, when she shows cracks, she's not weakened. She's chosen you. That choice is the final mirror of your power. You are not forcing surrender. You are becoming the only one she wants to stand with. Final edge. Restraint as the sharpest blade. Power misused becomes ruin. The last and most lethal tactic is restraint. Never display everything you can do. Never unleash all your strengths at once. Keep your cards close, your victories closer. When tempted to dominate, choose instead to elevate. Make space so she can step in without fear. Give trust only to those who prove they deserve it. A predator's greatest strength is the discipline to hold back. The man who can wait, who can observe patience itself, is the man who ultimately commands the highest ground. The cold responsibility. This is ruthless strategy, not a license to harm. To be powerful in the way described is to accept responsibility. Power is heavy, it requires care. Use these tactics to sharpen yourself, to become more present, more honest, more exacting in your standards. Use them to cultivate depth, not to harvest consent by deception. Command attention. Create gravity. Hold yourself like a citadel. But remember, the strongest empires last because they are built on foundations that can bear weight, not on fear that collapses at the first breath. Enter like something that matters. Goal: make your presence register immediately. Not loud. Not needy. Heavy. Tactic: minimal entrance plus one precise observation. Example: you arrive, nod once, settle, then. I like the way you laugh when you try to hide it. Pause. Let that land. She'll register that you noticed something others missed. Why it works: short, specific, not flattering in the shallow way. It signals attention and makes her aware she's seen. Initial probe: move past small talk in 2 lines. Goal: force the conversation into real territory without sounding intense. Tactic: 1 leading question plus an open invite. Example: tell me something you've never told a friend. If she shrugs: not a secret, a truth you keep private. Start small. Why it works: it creates a tiny, controlled vulnerability. It frames you as the kind of person who invites truth, not trivia. Precision listening: how to respond when she opens up. Goal: convert confession into connection. Tactic: mirror plus focused recall plus 1 clean, probing follow-up. Example: her: I always panic before I perform on stage. You freeze. I can hear the way your breath tightens, like you're waiting for permission to be yourself. When does that permission ever come? Why it works: you show you observe the physical symptom and then ask a question that goes deeper, without performing pity. Calibrated vulnerability: share a scar like a badge. Goal: signal depth without neediness. Tactic: 1 small, controlled anecdote, lower your voice, then pivot with curiosity. Example: I used to walk away from things before they could hurt me. Learn the hard way that walking doesn't heal it, it buries it. What did you learn too late? Why it works: you show you've been tested, not broken. Then you invite her to join the same track that creates parity. 5. Controlled scarcity: pulling back to create pull. Goal: make your presence mean more by not being omnipresent. Tactic: be present when it counts, be absent enough to be noticed. Communicate value through timing. Example: text scenario: she messages, you disappeared yesterday. Reply 2 hours later, calmly, I was finishing something that deserves full attention. Now I'm here. No apology. No over-explanation. Why it works: it signals priorities, which feel like standards. Standards attract. 6. The mirror and twist: build comfort, then surprise. Goal: use familiarity to create trust, then shift to generate magnetism. Tactic: reflect posture / phrasing for a beat, then break pattern with something unexpected. Example: you match her tone, playful, light. Then, suddenly, if you could erase one expectation people have of you, which would you burn first? The question is out of left field and forces introspection. Why it works: the mirror builds rapport, the twist forces novelty, novelty arrests attention. Language knives: short phrases that cut deep. Goal: use compact lines that create emotional motion. Phrases to keep in your pocket: tell me the truth you never say. You look like you're tired of pretending. What scares you when you're alone? I don't need to be liked. I need to be understood. Use sparingly. Each should be delivered with calm, not theatrics. 8. Escalation ladder. Move from surface depth choice. Goal: guide the conversation from casual to meaningful, then give an opportunity for mutual commitment or exit. Steps: 1. Surface. What's the best part of your week? 2. Deeper. What's something you've given up pretending about? 3. Confessional. If you could change one thing about how people remember you, what would it be? 4. Choice. I can see you. We can keep doing this, or we can stop and keep pretending. Your call. Why it works: each step increases emotional investment. The final step hands agency back to her, a decisive move that signals respect and control.